What if I told you that one of history's most misunderstood philosophers, Friedrich Nietzsche, quietly laid out principles that can transform how you attract, lead, and connect? Most people think Nietzsche's work is cold, complicated, or purely intellectual. But beneath his philosophy lies a raw understanding of power, human desire, and emotional control, the very things that make a man magnetic. His ideas weren't written for seduction, but when applied through psychology and self-mastery, they unlock a deeper form of attraction few men ever reach. Here's a question before we begin. Do you believe women are drawn to looks, wealth, or something deeper, an invisible presence that can't be faked? Write your answer in the comments. Because Nietzsche's insights prove that attraction has little to do with what you have, and everything to do with how you carry yourself. Power, mystery, self-command, these are the quiet signals that pull people in without effort. Most men lose themselves trying to impress, while the few who understand these rules never chase. Nietzsche once wrote, "He who cannot command himself must obey." That line alone reveals everything. Attraction begins when you master yourself, not others. It's not manipulation, it's transformation. The man who learns these principles doesn't need to pursue, he becomes the pursuit. So stay until the end, because we're diving into the 5 hidden rules that redefine how confidence, control, and calm strength make you impossible to ignore. And if what you hear speaks to you, comment seductive wisdom below. Let it mark the start of your evolution into the kind of man who no longer begs for attention but commands it effortlessly. Nietzsche once wrote, "He who cannot command himself must obey." Those words hold more truth about attraction than most modern advice ever will. Because before you can influence anyone, you must first conquer yourself, your impulses, your emotions, your need for approval. Most men spend their lives reacting to rejection, to desire, to attention. They let their feelings control their behavior. But real power begins the moment you stop being ruled by reaction and start leading through composure. A man who cannot master himself will always be mastered by others. You can see it in the way he seeks validation, changes his personality to fit in, or collapses under silence. He becomes predictable, and predictability kills attraction. Nietzsche believed that strength comes from embracing struggle and turning chaos into control. In psychology, this is called self-regulation, the ability to stay centered no matter what's happening around you. It's not about being emotionless, it's about being unmoved. Take a simple example. 2 men face rejection. One becomes bitter, overanalyzing every word, drowning in self-doubt. The other accepts it with calm, learns from it, and moves forward. The difference isn't in experience, it's in self-mastery. The second man doesn't depend on approval to define his value. His sense of worth comes from within. That's what makes him powerful. He doesn't chase because he doesn't need to. Nietzsche believed that suffering shapes greatness, that every test refines strength. The man who learns to control his emotions under pressure becomes rare, and rarity is irresistible. While most are consumed by chaos, he stands calm. His steadiness becomes magnetic because it signals depth. In a world of noise, silence feels powerful. In a crowd of followers, a man who commands himself stands out as a leader. So before you think about attraction, think about control. If you can't master your mind, your desires will master you. The first step toward dominance in life and in relationships is not to dominate others, but to rule yourself. Because the man who owns himself owns every room he walks into. Nietzsche believed that desire, when controlled, becomes power, but when uncontrolled, becomes slavery. Most men are prisoners of their own desires. They see a woman they like and instantly lose balance, giving away their focus, their confidence, and their presence. They chase what they crave, not realizing that the act of chasing already means they've lost power. The one who chases has already submitted. The one who controls his desire, however, draws attention without even trying. In psychology, this dynamic is simple. People value what is scarce. The more available you make yourself emotionally or physically, the less valuable your presence becomes. When you chase desire impulsively, you send a message that you lack discipline, and discipline is what defines strength. Nietzsche called this will to power, the inner drive to rule over your instincts instead of being ruled by them. True attraction is not about suppressing desire, but mastering it until it becomes a tool, not a weakness. Take a simple example. Two men see the same woman. One tries to win her attention through compliments, jokes, and constant pursuit. The other acknowledges her beauty, smiles once, and returns to his purpose. Which one do you think she notices more? The second one, because his restraint creates curiosity. His lack of need feels like mystery. And mystery by nature attracts. When you no longer chase, your energy shifts. You move from wanting to choosing. That's where your power lies. Stoic thought mirrors Nietzsche's view. The ability to control passion is what separates men of strength from men of impulse. A calm mind, unmoved by temptation, radiates control. It's not arrogance, it's sovereignty. The man who commands his desires controls the entire dynamic without a single word. In that silence, his confidence becomes louder than any compliment could ever be. So the next time desire rises, don't suppress it. Observe it. Feel it, but don't be led by it. Let it remind you of your capacity for control. Because when you can want something deeply and still choose not to chase it, you reach the highest form of power, emotional mastery. And a man with mastery doesn't beg for attention. He attracts it naturally without breaking his balance or losing himself in pursuit. Nietzsche once said, "Silence is a kind of strength." In a world where everyone shouts to be heard, silence has become the loudest form of confidence. The man who doesn't need to talk constantly, who isn't desperate to prove his worth, becomes instantly magnetic. Silence, when paired with self-control, communicates dominance, not through intimidation, but through composure. It says, "I am enough, even when I say nothing." That quiet presence draws attention because it carries certainty. Psychologically, this is tied to nonverbal power. People don't just listen to words. They read energy, tone, eye contact, posture. When you're silent but composed, your body does the talking. You give off the message of confidence without effort. On the other hand, when you over-explain, over-talk, or over-prove, you communicate insecurity. Silence creates curiosity, and curiosity breeds attraction. Nietzsche's philosophy of strength is rooted in restraint. The idea that true power doesn't need to announce itself. Think of it like this. Two men walk into a room, one talks endlessly, filling every silence with nervous energy. The other observes, speaks rarely and only when necessary. The first seeks approval, the second already has it. His calmness unsettles people in the best way. It forces them to pay attention. That's what Nietzsche called the power of presence. People feel it before they understand it. This form of confidence isn't about pretending to be mysterious. It's about being so grounded that you no longer need attention to feel valid. When you're silent, your energy becomes focused. Your movements become intentional. You stop wasting words and start commanding space. It's the kind of composure women instinctively recognize. Not because you're trying to impress them, but because your quiet strength contrasts the noise of everyone else. So practice the art of stillness. Speak less, observe more. Don't rush to respond or explain yourself. Let your calmness speak louder than your voice ever could. Because in Nietzsche's philosophy, confidence isn't noise, it's presence. And in a world desperate to be heard, the man who masters silence becomes unforgettable. One of Nietzsche's most powerful lessons is that the man who needs nothing holds everything. He wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." In other words, a man with purpose cannot be controlled by external things. Not money, not validation, not even affection. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop depending. When you detach, you free yourself from the emotional slavery that keeps most men weak. The less you need, the more magnetic you become because people feel that freedom, and they crave it. Psychology supports this idea through the principle of non-attachment. The more you cling to an outcome, the more anxiety you create, and anxiety kills attraction. But when you release the need for control, you move with calm intention. You no longer ask, "Will she like me?" Instead, you think, "I already like who I am." That shift changes everything. You start radiating peace, not pressure, and peace is power. Nietzsche's philosophy aligns perfectly with this. Strength isn't about possession, it's about independence. Take a real example. A man constantly checks his phone waiting for a text back. His emotions rise and fall with every notification. Contrast that with another man who sends a message once, then moves on with his day. Gym, work, silence. The second man doesn't ignore out of ego. He simply refuses to lose himself in waiting. That calm detachment makes him mysterious and desirable because it shows emotional discipline. Detachment doesn't push people away. It draws them in because everyone wants the peace that detached people naturally radiate. Nietzsche believed that power lies in self-sufficiency, in building a life so full that external validation becomes irrelevant. When your sense of worth comes from your purpose, no one can take it from you. You become the observer, not the beggar. And that control over yourself becomes visible in your actions, your tone, your entire presence. People trust the man who stands firm no matter what happens, because he's anchored in something deeper than approval. So remember this: want less, and you'll attract more. Detach not to avoid pain, but to protect your peace. Don't cling to anyone or anything. Not out of coldness, but out of confidence, because when you stop needing to possess, you start to attract effortlessly. Nietzsche's wisdom reminds us that the strongest man is the one who can walk away without losing himself, the one who, by wanting nothing, gains everything. Nietzsche believed that greatness doesn't come from seeking approval. It comes from becoming someone worthy of it. He wrote, "Become who you are." These 4 words define the essence of magnetic presence. The most attractive men don't chase validation or compete for attention. They refine themselves until their very being demands respect. They are the prize. Not because they're arrogant, but because they've built themselves into something rare. When you live with purpose, discipline, and confidence, people don't just see you, they feel you. Psychologically, this aligns with status energy. Humans are wired to value what is limited and self-assured. A man who knows his worth without boasting radiates quiet power. He walks slower, speaks less, and acts with purpose. He's not in a hurry to impress because he doesn't seek permission to exist. The paradox of attraction is this: when you stop chasing, you rise in value. When you act like the prize, you become it. Nietzsche understood this as the evolution of the self, transcending dependence, fear, and need to embody strength itself. Take an example. 2 men approach life differently. One tries to win everyone's attention, dressing to impress, talking too much, always seeking approval. The other builds silently. He works, he learns, he grows. He focuses on his purpose and treats attention as a byproduct, not a goal. The second man eventually commands the room without saying a word. That's the man people notice. That's the man women respect. It's not about looks or money, it's about energy. Nietzsche's philosophy teaches that you don't find power, you cultivate it. The more you invest in your body, your mind, your discipline, and your vision, the more magnetic you become. Confidence built on mastery can't be faked, and that's why it never fades. It's not something you switch on, it's who you become. That's why truly powerful men attract from authenticity, not performance. So stop chasing attention and start embodying value. Build your purpose, sharpen your mind, strengthen your body, and control your emotions. When you become the prize, attraction reverses. People start chasing you. Because in Nietzsche's world and in life, the man who knows himself doesn't beg to be chosen. He is the choice. If you've made it this far, understand this. Nietzsche's lessons aren't about tricks, dominance, or manipulation. They're about evolution. The man who learns to command himself, control desire, embrace silence, detach from outcome, and live with purpose becomes unshakable. Attraction becomes effortless because it's no longer about others. It's about mastering your own nature. Nietzsche's philosophy and psychology both point to the same truth. Power is peace, and peace is irresistible. When you embody these 5 rules, you stop performing and start existing with clarity. You no longer ask, how do I make her like me? Instead, you live in a way that makes others admire your discipline, your balance, and your calm confidence. You attract not through force, but through gravity, the kind that only comes from self-mastery. As Nietzsche said, the higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. Let others talk and chase, you focus on rising. So tonight, take a moment to reflect. Which of these 5 rules do you need to master first? Write your answer in the comments. And if this message sparked something in you, leave the words, seductive wisdom below. Let it serve as your reminder that attraction isn't a game. It's a reflection of who you've become. The moment you choose mastery over approval, you stop chasing attention and start commanding it naturally.